Prismatic Evolution seems to have no slowdown at over $100 even with the mass printing from the Pokemon Company. This is one of the best sets from Scarlet and Violet, arguably the best set, and one of the few opportunities that I think is going to do extremely well. I'm going to try to convince you of that in this video. If you disagree, totally understandable. All that I would ask is that you watch the entire video before making up your mind and commenting. So why do I say that Prismatic is both the best and the worst set from Scarlet and Violet? It's not actually the worst set, but it's if you ever open Prismatic, if you know what I'm talking about here, if you've ever sat down with your friends and maybe got a couple booster bundles and you're like, yes, this is the one time we're finally going to get something good. And guess what you get? Nothing. You get nothing. Now I have about 2 of these binders bulk from just simply Prismatic, reverse cards, holo cards, bulk that I have nowhere to put. I'm trying to put them in order, attempting to master set, not really on purpose. It just kind of happened by accident because I never got an Umbreon. The other day I hoarded 12 booster bundles, got the 2 kids around. I was like, guys, we're definitely going to get an SIR today. And we did not get an SIR or really anything that was super worth it, right? I mean, if you're spending $500-600 on a fun time, you're like, guys, we really want to do this, it's going to be great, and you just simply don't get it, you know. But it's the best set because when you do get it, it is pretty awesome, and every now and then you do get an SIR. And let me know what you think about Prismatic. You probably feel my pain on that. So as far as reprints, there is no secret here, but I do feel like we're at the tail end of this. This is the Sam's Premium Collection. Incredible value. You get 14 pack. If you do get it for MSRP, about $57. That's about $4 per pack. Incredible deal. The cheapest you're seeing on TCG is about $115. If you do pay market, those 14 packs come to just over $8 a pack, which is probably better than anywhere else you're going to get. Again, that's if you're paying full value. In my local area in Virginia, outskirts of Richmond, you can get these for about $100 very easy. I'm sure you could get these for $90, which would take you under $8 a pack. Now I know the MSRP gang, I'm only going to pay what it costs, $5 or whatever. That's great. Probably not going to happen anytime soon. Again, unless you got lucky at Sam's Club or something, but hey, it's really not a terrible deal, to be honest with you. 14 packs is a lot, and this is fun. You definitely get your money's worth for sure. But I do think this will go down as like kind of the blooming waters from 151, but for Prismatic, just wait until these things are out of print, man. It's almost done. Now the Costco bundle is insane. This is $175. Let that sink in. While these are being mass produced, it is nearing $200. Can you imagine when these are not going to be sold anymore, or when they slow down, when Pokemon starts thinking about other ventures? Destined Rivals needs to be printed. Mega obviously is coming out. Now I have heard that these are 2 different printing locations. Fair enough. But there are going to be other things coming out. They can't just print Prismatic for the rest of our life, can they? I extremely doubt it. And the good thing is, if you're holding this already, eventually, you know for a fact, it will be turned off. They cannot do it forever. Imagine this, $175 while still being sold at the store. That is insane. As far as the Costco tins, I struck out on this one. This comes to $134. Online has been a nightmare for Costco, Sam's, really anything you can think of. Let me know in the comment section below if you've got lucky with any of these items. I sure as heck did not. But it's actually about $8.15 depending on when you look at it. Even if you pay these scalper prices or market prices, that's the fair market value, right? Still just over $8. Not the worst thing we've ever seen. Usually when you watch Rip and Shippers, they're selling packs for $10 for Prismatic, $11. The lowest I've seen is like $9.50. So yeah, I understand you want MSRP. Who doesn't want MSRP? Of course. But even if you do have to pay that top dollar, it's really not the worst price in the world. Just imagine when these are done. I think for sure this is going to be closer to $200. Now let's talk about the chase cards, because oh my goodness, there are so many chase cards when it comes to this set. I think the only one that I've personally liked that's even close to this level would probably be Destined Rivals, which I think is fantastic. I won't be discussing that video because I did a video on that just 2 days ago. Starting off with a banger, arguably the best card or one of the best cards in Pokemon, at least for Scarlet and Violet, depending on who you are. You have the Umbreon. Oh my goodness, gorgeous card. I think people are going to talk about this card forever. Every single show I go to, which I go to about 3, maybe even 4 shows every month, Every kid is talking about this. Adults are still talking about this. Even if you're burnt out on this, you're probably still paying attention to the Umbreon EX. This is the card. This is the one to get. The number 2 card from the set, Sylveon. I actually pulled one of these. Couldn't believe it. It's going to PSA already or waiting for grading. Doubt I'll get a 10, but hey, you never know. This card, in my opinion, is slept on for sure. Even though people talk about it, I still think this card is going to go up a lot more. We will talk about the PSA population towards the end of the video. The Eevee, I mean, come on. Who doesn't want this Eevee? Gorgeous card here. I actually pulled this probably 2 weeks ago, this Dragapult, and I have to say this picture does not do it justice. In person, wow, something about Prismatic, gorgeous, man. It's kind of like artsy, you know, you could see some like airplanes in his head or something. It's weird, but you can still tell what things are, and I think people really enjoy that. Roaring Moon, come on. Not my favorite card from the set, not gonna lie, but it is a fan favorite. Even the trainers are gorgeous in Prismatic. I really like this one. Kieran, wow, gorgeous art. Love the sunrise. I guess it's sunrise. Gorgeous here. Love it. One of my favorites for sure. I've not pulled this trainer, but I would really like to. Another banger here. My son pulled this Scarlet EX. This card in person is insane. You really got to look at this card to fully understand what is going on. And the more I look at it, the more I like it, the more I find interesting about it. You know, you'll see like a symbol that you didn't see last time. You'll see something hidden in Prismatic that you didn't see last time. Leafeon, all the value of these are going down simply because they're printed so much, but that's okay. I mean, even these basic trainers I think are really cool looking. I've never found this one. Friends in Paldea looks cool though. I love the art from this. So we know the chase cards are incredible. There's no secret there. Love it or hate it, there is a bunch, but they are very, very difficult to get. And that's why it's so good and so bad, because when the winners win, they really win. And when the losers lose, oh man, you hate the set, you move on. So let's talk about sealed product here. Oh goodness, sealed product. I am shocked. Probably the most affordable collectible here for Prismatic, at least at the moment, is the ETB, the base ETB, going for $116 shipped. Again, that's the cheapest. In the last 3 months, it is up about 3 or 4%. In the last month, it is up 15%, which is insane. In the last 6 months, it is still down almost 13%. When the faucet gets turned off for this ETB from Pokemon, forget about it. Honestly, I don't even think it's going to take much longer than this Costco Sam's kind of boom here. I don't think it's going to be much longer. I really don't think. If this bull run continues today, we should be getting rate cuts. It's the 17th of September. Hopefully that's bullish for the markets overall, and it kind of bleeds into Pokemon in general. But even if it doesn't, it's not going to go, it's not going to stay $116 much longer, in my opinion. Do not be surprised when this moves. Not really if, but when this moves. Now, something more desirable is the Pokemon Center for $400. This is crazy. $399.99 is the cheapest you're going to be able to get it on TCG. Wow, I just purchased one of these for $330 about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Felt like an idiot because I was like, wow, I'm paying the top of market. And yet here we are. In the last month, it is up 25%. In the last 3 months, it is up 44%. In the last 6 months, it is up 7.62%. So even if you paid a lot for pre-orders or you've been holding this since the beginning, you're either making a lot of money right now or you're almost out of the hole completely. Again, it just really depends when you purchased it. And one reason that you're really going to want at least one Pokemon Center is simply because there's not an official booster box for Prismatic. Very interesting that that never happened for Prismatic. So what else really is there? I mean, you got the Pokemon Centers kind of the go-to. That is not something you can say for every single set, but it is something you can say for Prismatic. In replacement, we did get booster bundles, which I like booster bundles. Like I said, when I open up Pokemon, I love opening these because it's just so much easier. I open it, throw the trash away on the side, the wrapper, and we just get straight to business. Collectability to me, not as great, but hey, everybody is a little bit different. But think about this, $59 shipped while it is still coming out in Costco. In the last month, it is down 14.57%. In the last 3 months, it's down just over 10%. I unfortunately opened up all of my booster bundles. Again, pain, glory. We're kind of like down for sure. I would say more towards the pain side from opening all those, but I need some exposure to it. And this is the time. Like literally, there's not going to be another better time probably than right now. So yeah, if you're going to pick this up, you need to get what you want. If it's the ETB, you need to hurry up and get some ETBs, base ETBs. That's a really good deal. Pokemon Center, not as great of a deal for sure, but you're going to want to get something. If you do want to get it, now is the time. Now, we could not have a Prismatic video without talking about the singles. If you look at the near mint, it is now over $1,000. I swear this was just $900. And this is, again, with everything still being printed. In the last month, we're seeing an 8% increase, starting to recover a little bit, not too much. Last 3 months, still down 14%. And in the last 6 months, this is still down 37%. The number 2 chase card, Sylveon, is over $327. That is a 4% increase over the last month and a negative 24% for the last 3 months. What I want you to consider and what I want you to think about is opportunity cost, risk, reward. Which one is going to be better for you? For me and to me, if I were to pick up some of these cards, I would want to buy, obviously a couple weeks ago, but that's not an option. But moving forward, I would look at some of these cards that are down, like the Sylveon, and say, if I really want this card, it's pretty much $300 at or around. You could probably get it for about $300. Is now the best time? No, but it's still down 24% for the last 3 months. So yeah, I don't want to buy anything when it's up. And you see a lot of people do this. Things start moving up, start going up, and then they're like, yes, let's buy, let's FOMO in. Well, now people really, the hot one for Scarlet and Violet is Destined Rivals. That's what everybody's talking about. A lot of people aren't talking about Prismatic in the same way, especially for the singles. And so, yeah, if you were interested in singles, now is an okay time to buy some of them. Maybe you can get some different IRs. I don't know. You can figure that out for which one you think is best for you. For me, though, I personally think sealed is better. Why is sealed better for me? Well, they're getting more and more rare once this print goes away. And there's going to be more cards. I think Rudy mentioned this, not specifically to Prismatic, but the sealed product becomes rarer over time and more people open over time. So that becomes less rare. So the opposite happens, right? You'll see more singles come out, more graded cards, while the sealed product goes down. The supply goes down. These two reverse one another. And I think that's, for me, why I really do prefer the sealed product. I want to hold that mystery in my hand. When I look at my wall, I think to myself, is there an Umbreon in there? There could be 2 Umbreons in there. What if there's a Flareon? What if there's a Vaporeon in there, right? That what if factor, that sealed, that just like that temptation, rather than the card that is already there and it's great to have, but you're not, you already know what the value is, if you get what I'm saying. Whereas the mystery continues to go up because there's less of them and you just simply don't know what's inside. Also, something to consider is that we are in the middle of a bull run. I mean, this has been going on for 18 months now. How much longer can this go on for? And the first thing that's going to get hit, I think for sure, is the foreign cards, Chinese, then maybe Korean and Japanese, and then the English cards, if not all at the same time. But the singles are going to get hit very hard, where the sealed product is still going to get hit. Definitely. There's no questions there. But in comparison, I think the singles are not going to hold their value, with a few exceptions, of course. Some of the top cards might hold their value. But overall, the sealed product is always going to become more and more scarce over time, and the singles are just going to grow in supply. In summary, it's just simple supply and demand. Now we need to discuss population report. My guy Nostalgianomics, I don't really know him like that, but I am a viewer. He loves to talk about population report. So you know what? I think we need to discuss it. It's very important, especially if you're looking at some of these PSA 10s. Currently, the Umbreon is going for $2,957. The PSA 10 still is not really moving that much. I mean, it was 2,600 not too long ago, closer to 3 now. Again, not a huge movement. If it was something that you really wanted, it's definitely down. It used to be a lot more when it first came out, but it's not the worst time, not the best time. It just depends what you're looking for. So according to PSA, the total graded cards is 8,277. And for the 10s, that is 2,871 of those receiving a 10. That simply means that 34% of the PSA graded cards received a 10. That's a pretty decent population number for Pokemon. Now, in the comic book world, that would be pretty bad. But for Pokemon, that's actually pretty good. To be clear, that's only good for modern cards. reprint's not vintage. We have to discuss the Sylveon. PSA 10 is going for about $900 right now. Upon initial launch, it was $3,000, which is a little unrealistic. And then in February, it was about $1,600. Cooled off, and now, yeah, we haven't done too much at around that $900 mark. And now looking at Sylveon, total PSA graded is 5,356, and 1,782 of those received a PSA 10, which would mean that 33% of the Sylveons graded are receiving a PSA 10, so about 1 in 3. Now, I've heard a lot of content creators mention the fact that how many are actually on the market. I hear Nostalgianomics say this a lot, and I think that's really valid to mention. Why is less than 1% of the supply on eBay at a time? Well, I personally think that most people believe in Umbreon or Sylveon or whichever top chase card that is out there, and they don't want to sell at $2,900. You see, if you looked at the chart with me before, this used to be up $5,000, $7,000 for Umbreon. At one point, $10,000 valid, yes, in the very beginning only, and they don't want to sell for $3,000. However, I would not be surprised if this sucker went to $5,000 or $10,000 again long term. Suddenly we have a massive amount of supply, and this is where I'm like, oh man, this is where the singles for me get really risky, because yes, at the moment there is not a lot on there, but the reason it's not is because it's not worth as much. I say it's not worth as much. It's almost a $3,000 card, but you get what I'm saying. If some little Timmy paid $2,500 or paid closer to $3,000, they don't want to sell for $2,500 or $3,000, right? They want to sell for $5,000, $10,000, at least $8,000 or so long term. And it's not very hard to store these. I mean, it's probably the size of this phone. For a graded card, right? You protect it, throw it in the corner. If you really believe in this, if you're really truly investing in this, and if you're collecting, maybe not so much, but if you're investing in Pokemon, the singles for you, you're looking for those 3, 5, 10, maybe 15-year gains. And I think that's really why we're not seeing a lot of this. Now, I'm not new to collectibles, yes, on the Pokemon side, but as far as comic books, let's say the Amazing Spider-Man #1. Okay, this is the second appearance of Amazing Spider-Man. At the moment, there might not be a lot of sales on eBay, but that's because the price is down. But during the bull runs, when the price is actually mooning, I know it's kind of weird, we're in a bull run, but Umbreon's not really up that much. Suddenly, they all start coming on eBay, right? And so they get flooded. So yes, I do think, yeah, I get it that there's less than 1% on the market, but there simply could be 5, 10, 15% overnight if this sucker went to the moon, and then everybody FOMOs in, starts buying it. You could argue that. So I get it. It's weird. For me, the sealed products just make so much more sense selling that mystery than the singles. But again, I have a little bit of exposure to singles, a lot of exposure to singles accidentally, because I just kept opening, looking for an Umbreon. I never planned on master setting it, but at this point, I'm like, dude, I'm so deep into it. I've opened so many of these with the kiddos. Like, we're already pretty close to master setting it just by accident. If you like this video, please do like it and consider subscribing. It really helps. I'm so excited, guys. Like, we're getting close to 250 subscribers, making videos for you guys every other day. If you made it to the end of the video, I will actually read your comment if you put in #phone. A lot of people troll, man. A lot of people just say random stuff after seeing the title and don't really watch the full video. So for those of you that do, put in #phone and I'll actually read and respond to your comment. I appreciate you guys, man. Really excited for Mega, really excited for October. The lineup for November is going to be insane. Like, get some Charizard ETBs. We did get 2 of the Pokemon Centers. Really excited about that. UPC is not launched, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. DJ's Poke Center, signing out.